So it's going to be a battle of the classics. Which one is the best EDC knife? Folks, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalists, and someone requested a comparison from the previously reviewed CRKT M16, a classic of classics, a legendary knife in the EDC world, and how does it compare to some other well-recognized brands and designs? I have a classic cold steel Voyager here. I've got a number of these over the years. I love these. These are some of my favorite EDC knives from Cold Steel. I know that they have a bunch of different models. These have always been the ones I favor the most. Spyderco Endura 4. Progression over the years, getting better and better. Saber grind so as to have the toughest possible blade, high quality steel VG10, and a very successful opening mechanism with the Spidey hole, which, you know, you have to follow through with that. It just works very reliably. So which one is best? How do they compare? Let's start by saying the obvious. These are all excellent knives. Whatever it is that you choose from what you see on the table, you're talking about high quality. Yeah, prices are a little bit different. It's not always the same. And specifically with zero tolerance, they have a number of different models that come from different designers. And usually you're talking about a very high quality a very high quality frame lock knife. In general, that seems to be the constant with ZT. Okay, and I have here my model is 0452CF carbon fiber, representing zero tolerance. So over the years, maybe the most classic ones, at least the way I see it, are these three. There's others, of course, and yes, I'm not showing even like the Rat or some of the famous models from Benchmade, but these are some of the most successful designs. They simply work, and I'm going for a medium-sized knife. I'm not going with insanely large beast of a folder like some of the ones they have from Vaquero. No, I'm looking at some of the Goldilocks point of not too big, not too small, yet big enough for most of the things I need. And let's start with the Endura 4. This is one of the most developed, more time-tested, most successful designs from Spyderco. And this is a favorite among military and law enforcement. I know for a fact that lots of guys that are in service, they like this because of how light it is, how high quality it is, and how reliable it is. These are surprisingly tough, yet lightweight. There's no liners. You know, there's a little bit of, well, actually there are like internal liners, skeletonized so as to make this super tough, but it is a rather lightweight knife, especially when you compare it to some of the other ones. But this is very light, very comfortable handle. The grip is nice because you have a little bit of a finger grooves for your hand to adjust nicely. And even with my hand, you do have, even if you had a bit of a larger hand, you still have a bit more real estate there for your grip, while at the same time you have a narrow pointy blade that is very sharp, made of high quality VG10 steel, properly heat treated, and a time proven lock, your spine lock for you to count on. The only thing I'm thinking of right now, yeah, maybe the grip could be a little bit more comfortable, but I can't complain much about that. This is a solid choice, and that's why it's been so successful over the years. Let's go now with the Cold Steel. These have been probably my most favorite brand of folding knives over the years. And holding it now, I'm just reminded why. They're just extremely well designed. You have maybe the more comfortable handle that you have in any folder, as far as I know. You have a nice pistol grip kind of handle here with a very aggressive finger choil, you know, for you to count on. And even though it hasn't got like a proper guard, you're very unlikely to have your hand slip forward. Okay, so this is old school cold steel all around. Again, Taiwan there, you know, it's a country where if you get the proper manufacturer, the quality will be there. A thumb stud for opening on either side. You don't even have to bother changing this. And yes, it's gonna be a tip-up design. Okay, you're gonna be going there, and you have only tip-up option, and it works fantastically well. either one side or the other. All right. With the Spyderco, one of the nice features is you have those 4 holes, those 4 options, so as to put whatever preference you have. And if you compare, it's a little bit depressed, the spine lock. This means that you have it's less of a chance of you accidentally putting pressure there and disengaging the safety. So that's also a nice feature that you have here in the knife, right? It's never been the case. This is strong enough and well placed enough that I've never had this disengage. And I've used similar knives to this one, different Voyager models from Cold Steel over the years. Never ever had that problem. Different blade options. This is more of your clip points. You have your Tantos. You have the Vaquero counter S-shaped blade. So you have a bunch of different options, but Voyager is a solid way to go. It is a little bit more bulky. It is a little bit bigger. Again, you have your liners there on the inside hitting. It's recessed underneath the fiberglass injected material. Super strong, comfortable, and not heavy at all, right? You can afford OS 8 steel. You have a bunch of different options in terms of steel. I don't remember them all, but just your basic solid stainless steel. Nothing too fancy or elaborate. Now, moving on, we have the CRKT, which I showed in one of the previous videos. And I love this design. I think it's super lightweight. Maybe the lightest one of them all. Now, don't quote me on that. Check yourself. But you're talking about lightweight knives. None of these are awfully heavy. Actually, more on the lighter side of things. But again, it is super fast in the hand. You have a narrow, pointy blade for anything that you need a narrow, pointy blade for. That flipper opening, I like it these days more than your traditional hole or thumb stud. It's just super fast in the hand, and your liner lock is secured by the CRKT additional locking mechanism. So you have to pull it down, side, boom, there you go. Just classic among classics and super well fine-tuned knife design. I love the way this thing opens. It has a high level of satisfaction of boom, there you go. Blade for whatever, and it is tough. These things are tough. They're very dependable and properly priced. Cold Steel has been going up in price a little bit. Spyderco definitely so. CRKT seems to be holding their own with a still high quality manufacturing. These are made in Japan, if I remember correctly. Japan, there you go. Japanese, Taiwan, and finally made in US, ZT, zero tolerance. These are more expensive knives. These are high quality. Now, is it going to be the case that this is going to be tougher than this one? No, of course not. Here you have the added toughness of the triad lock, which is simply this stud there that goes through. This pin provides additional 20-25% strength to the locking mechanism. It's definitely stronger. It's not hype. It's not marketing. This is definitely a design feature that, I think it was patented by Cold Steel, but this just makes it stronger. Is it really that important? Again, no. I mean, in my experience using knives over so many years, even a traditional liner lock, if it's well done, for example, the knife that I use maybe the most of them all is the knife in my Leatherman. My Leatherman Charge TTI with a blade there. It has a liner lock that is not even as beefy as this one. I mean, it's okay, but I've used that knife so many times in realistic situations. Not testing, not doing YouTube videos, but almost 2 decades now of using that thing a heck of a lot and never having that fail ever, even being close to that slipping or failing when it was needed. So liner locks are more than good enough. If you have the additional feature, sure. But here we have a frame lock, meaning that all of this titanium frame, and this is again very comfortable. Yeah, man, I mean, holding it now, yeah, I will still say that the Voyager is the most comfortable, especially, it is close. It is close because the clip here seems a little bit excessive. So all of this handle is extremely comfortable, but the large clip kind of feels, now this has more of a minimalistic flat shaped clip. So this is a super comfortable knife to handle. Such a nice sleek design there, and a blade that has no faults, a blade that for a little bit of a medium to large size folder, it does provide all of the reach and all of the pointiness and all of the sharpness you could possibly need. So all of these are excellent. This is more of a high-end luxury EDC with your ZT, right, as it's usually the case from their offerings. And these are a little bit more of a budget-friendly approach. All of these will serve you terrifically well. I mean, the one I'm using mostly lately is probably going to be the CRKT model, what is it, M16 14ZLAK. And again, a bit of a larger, right, M16 model, but I completely get it when people say that is too much. I don't need a damn beast of a folding knife. I mean, it's okay for you. This does not go even with the kind of clothes I usually wear. Okay, I get that. This is a little bit of a beastly knife. This is a lot sleeker, and this will do pretty much everything else you could possibly need. Here you have the glass breaker, you have the seatbelt cutter, but it's more of a mutant version of the fine classic M16, right? Whatever, you know, makes you happy, whatever fills any the requirements that you have in your own specifics in your own specific case. But I cannot recommend any of these enough. These are all fantastic knives, and a bunch of others that I've shown over the years. You have Kershaw, but here you're talking about a higher end, great value. For what you're paying, you're getting a lot of knife. And the only exception to that would be the ZT, where you're talking about certain materials, certain high-end steel, and more of a luxury approach to your EDC rather than just something functional. The prices, of course, are a lot higher, and these are quite, I mean, you can buy 3 of these for the price of that one, and at the end of the day, these are just as good in terms of the practical use that you would have for a knife, okay? Combine any of these with a little flashlight and you're good to go. I'll leave some links there below for whatever it is that I find this available in Amazon. Fair warning, it's not always the case, but whatever it is that I find or the closest to it, I'll leave it there below if you want to purchase one of these or some of the other options I think are worth considering. And as always, you will have my book, Street Survival Skills. This was Surviving the Economic Collapse, available in Amazon, and those links below for your preparedness. See you next time. Take care.